Right, folks, it's time for a catch-up with Soccershop.Bet for the Hollywoodbets Durban July, which is coming up. It's always a great race, and always there are some stories, some twists and turns. And I've caught up with Lance because we've had two twists and turns, because Double Superlative is out of the race, and so too is Rain in Holland, the champion 3-year-old filly. So you could argue one of the best colts and one of the best fillies in the 3-year-olds are out. And as a result, it's probably good news for those that are still in the race.
I agree, Neil. It's a shock to the system because there were two runners that would have been in the betting, that were in the betting. And for the race itself, I think it's a bit of a blow. But it gives a lot more chances to other horses. And of the 3-year-olds that are left, Pomp and Power is a worthy favourite, I would imagine.
Yes, and going into the Daily News. And on that note, because literally in the last 20 minutes we heard that Zapatalis, who won the Guineas, is not going to run in the Daily News. So Brett Crawford and his son James Crawford and the owners obviously have decided that they're going to skip the Daily News, and he will come back to KwaZulu-Natal. He's gone back to his base and will raid from there, which they did successfully. Just coming back to the Double Superlative story, I thought he actually ran a terrific race in the Guineas. He was drawn in the bush.
It was an incredible race.
And it was a good come-on performance. So,
incredible race. He's done a 10, I believe.
Yeah, so yes.
I spoke to John O'Smith. He says he'll be back in December for the Cape Town season, but sad because he was a huge contender for the Durban season.
Well, the thing is about Team Snaith, and not that I want to poke my nose into your conversation with them, but they've got a lot of strings to their bows. They've got Pomp and Power, they've got Do It Again. What about him? I mean, he was terrifically impressive the other day.
They fancy him strongly, Neil. They're bullish about, if I have to choose out of all their horses, they're bullish about him the most. The one I like the most, they're least bullish about, Warrior. Says he doesn't think it'll stay, and he doesn't think it's as good as Hoedspruit. I've got the book upside down.
Interesting. I mean, going back 6 months, I thought the Warrior was going to be my July horse, but I've seen how he runs. I'm also not so sure he'll stay. But having said that, the July, you don't necessarily have to
Why
say.
won't he stay?
Well, just his running style for me. But anyway, look, you got it. Well, let's start with him. What price is he?
Isn't he the 4-year-old that comes in with a low weight?
He's one of them, but he's going to be under sufferance. I think he's quite low in his merit rating. Which is initially why I liked him, but as you say, they've got Hoedspruit. Funnily enough, I actually got off the phone with Suzette Viljoen about 10-15 minutes ago, and she was saying that because he was due to run on the weekend, we've lost that race.
Yes, the Scottsville race.
But she just confirmed with me that thanks to Gold Circle, they've laid that race on the weekend, so it's an addition to the card.
Excellent.
Because there's a few that needed
to run.
It was a very nice race. So yeah, and then of course, I mean, Bulgarian, who's a former winner, so
he's going to carry top weight.
Yes, if he runs. And Jet Dog. So these are a lot of horses.
Yeah, he's, like you said, he's got a lot of strings to his bow. Do It Again, 8 years old. He had a very nice win the other day, so you've got to respect him. I was never a fan of the 3-year-olds, but the more the race is progressing, the more they're becoming the likely winners. But I'm still going to stick to my guns, Daniel. I'm not a fan of Do It Again. I'm not a fan of Pomp and Power. Greg Bort's a very good friend of mine. I'd like nothing more than for him to win the July and the Daily News.
Well, he's certainly now no value. I think we can say that. If you got a bit of 25 to 1, 22 to 1 when the betting was out there, you did well. Clearly, because he's 5 to 1. But I think that ship has sailed if you're looking for value. I would venture to say, as much as she's got a big chance, Sparkling Water, that value ship is also...
That track will not suit her.
For you, Sparkling Water.
Yeah, that track, she loves Turfentine. The track is not going to suit her.
Yes.
That's my opinion. Do It Again, we know what he does. He grows an extra leg at Grable, so he's a huge runner.
So that's the thing I just want to share with you. You can go on to www.soccershop.bet and have a look at these prices. But Pomp and Power is 5 to 1, Sparkling Water 8 to 1, Do It Again 9 to 1. The next horse is also not going to please Lance. I don't think he's going to tell you to back Comedy Ding at 12 to 1 either, are you?
No, I think the Johannesburg campaign did the horse more damage than good.
In retrospect, maybe perhaps. So he'll go in, from all accounts, he's going to go into the July Fresh as well.
Yeah.
So now we're starting to get into an area, because sooner or later you're going to have to find a horse. You've got Linebacker who's 9-1. Now, he does set a standard. He represents the value, does he?
That's my fancy.
It is.
Prep. His last run wasn't great, but it was a prep run clearly. Last year as a 3L, he ran a good race. I don't know what type of weight he's going to carry, Neil.
Well, he's, I think that off the top of my head, I haven't got the merit ratings with me, but I think he's about 2 merit rated points below Comedy Din, so he'll get half a kilogram from Comedy Din, which makes him competitive. And as you say, he didn't travel up to Durban.
Yes, he's had a prep. His prep was
it wasn't the greatest. Great. Was it in the drill hall? I think it was.
Yeah, but Marshall's horses at that particular time all needed it. And they're now starting to come right. So as far as that's concerned, he'll be a different horse. And then of the 3-year-olds, I don't know if you're going to laugh at me, I like Safe Passage.
Well, he runs in the Daily News, doesn't he?
He runs on Saturday in the Daily News.
Expected to run. We haven't seen the final fields coming out today, but yes.
So he, for me, will be it'll be interesting to see how he does. And then Warrior, we'll see on Sunday if he's going to run, how he's going to do. The Peters Yard, I think Naval Guard's their horse. He's improved out of sight.
Unbelievable.
But he's a 90-minute rating.
Yeah, he shouldn't be winning. Mind you, Asterix shouldn't have won the race he won.
But how does he get into the race? Because he's not in the top. He's 20 points off the 20th horse.
Yeah, and you're right. He's not even in the next 6 alphabetically.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't think he's in the next 6
He may win the Jubilee. That could happen, but is it enough to get him in? Maybe it is. I don't know.
Well, the thing is, the race is cutting up because we've said you've lost. We know for a certainty Double Superlative is out and Rain in Holland is out. It remains to be seen whether Jet Dog decides to run. I'm not so sure they're going to run him with top weight.
He gave nothing away with Jet Dog. He was, funny enough, all his interest was Do It Again, Hood Sprite, and Double Superlative. He never really spoke much of. He's a very good guy, John O'Snaith. He's open, he's transparent, and he's, when I said to him I like Warrior, he said to me no, he doesn't think Warrior can beat Hoodspate.
Yeah.
But horses come on and they make fools out of everybody.
Absolutely. And by the way, there's further down the list, they've got one-way traffic, etc. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. So the race, there's no doubt. What I'm saying is the race has already broken up a bit. It might break up a bit further, in which case a horse like Naval Guard might get in.
Correct.
Just some others that are on this list. The Bass Robinson Yard is interesting because they've got this horse Fire Alley, who's also just bubbling underneath. At the time, he probably won't get into the race, but again, if
he won a 6 furlong the other day.
He did, quite impressively. Yeah, popped up with top weights up the straight.
And he was also meant to run soon. I saw him.
I think it's the same race as Hoodspate, is it?
Yeah, well,
I think so.
I think so as well. So that would be an interesting.
Yes.
It's a nice race. It's a bit like the Jubilee. It's going to tell a lot of stories.
Absolutely. I'm just going through the rest of the list here.
It's a weak July.
Well, I suppose you could say so. Yeah.
It's the best around, but I'm saying. I'm yet to see a 3-year-old hold his form other than Rain in Holland. Sean was never going to run her in the July unless he was pressured. She was always going to run in the Woolhampton. So the fact that she's out, I don't think she's too badly injured. She's got to have a procedure or something.
Okay.
Didn't sound too bad.
No, she's been quite busy and she's done nothing wrong, so she probably deserves the rest for sure. But interestingly, of course, the Woolhampton, I think, is a golden ticket race. So the winner of the Woolhampton, when it gets into the July, not going to be a particularly strong Woolhampton.
Well, no, it isn't.
No,
it's a weak
So it's a wonderful opportunity. I think the Baron Burtis has nominated Light of the Moon, actually.
I don't blame him.
Yes.
I don't blame him at all. She's done well. She's punched way above her merit rate.
Yeah, and she's got a lovely Oaks pedigree, so she could be a little bit of a lurker. Is she in your betting at all?
I don't think so. If she is, she's on the other page near the bottom.
Yeah.
No, she's not in.
So where's the value? So if I had to give you 200 Rand, you'd put it each way on 100 Rand each way on linebacker, would you?
I would back linebacker and I would back Safe Passage. Even though Safe Passage is not value at 10-1, Saturday could tell a different story. I just know that Mark thinks a world of this horse, and he won the Derby with Aragosta and openly because he owns a share.
Yes.
He said he's happy to have won the Derby, but if the real horse pitched up Safe Passage, there would have only been one winner. So if that's the case, but again, the 3-year-olds haven't produced the form or
Correct.
stamped the form. In Gauteng, we had 3 different winners in the
Yes, because Red Saxon, you must throw Red Saxon, he won the classic.
Triple Crown. There we are. In KZN, we've had a Zapatellis win the Guineas. He's not in the in the Daily News, so we don't know. And in Cape Town, the Guineas and the Derby were different winners.
Yeah.
So, Pomp and Power could be improving way quicker than anybody else. His run was also good in the 1600. Was a length or so.
Well, a lot we'll find out with the Daily News coming up on the weekend for sure as far as the 3-year-olds.
He'll get a penalty.
Well, whoever wins the Daily News probably gets a penalty. Depends on obviously where they all run on top of each other, because I think he's now probably the high, with double superlative not running in the Daily News. He was a 125, so Pomp and Power is probably the highest 118.
Yeah.
If he wins, then he'll
gotta
probably be
get
the line horse.
7.1.
Well, I don't know. It's a lot, very interesting that. What about some of the older horses? You've had enough of the Porto Manzanos and Almatanas of this world, have you?
Well, Almatana for me is way too far.
Second base, Zilzal.
Second base on his day, but course and distance. Zilzal, well, who knows what's going to pitch. If you told me Astrid was going to win the Champions Cup, I would have laughed you off. So, but I don't see it winning. Russian Rock 3-year-old again prefers less. Mariner ran a shocker the other day. She ran near a last game.
No, that's very disappointing. Russian Rock's a 4-year-old because he won the Guineas as a 3-year-old.
That's right.
He
He's a
second in the
4-year-old.
drill,
But he looks like he likes less. Sorry, he's a 4-year-old, 100%.
Okay, so I'm trying to think. I tell you what, shall we race for a coffee? We'll race for a coffee.
Yes.
You go for linebacker, and I'll go for Hoedspruit.
No, I'm going to go for Warrior.
Are you still going to stick
I'm
with
going to
Warrior?
go for Warrior.
No,
Especially against Hoedspruit.
There you go, brilliant stuff. And Lance Michael with his position. Everybody, that's the thing about the July, and racing, as Graham Hawkins said the other night, is based on opinion. And the July is that kind of race, because will the top weight might be Cometidin. If Jet Dark and Belgorian don't run, then Cometidin will carry top weight. Just off them, the likes of linebacker, but right at the bottom you've got some 3-year-olds who might lurk into the race. Very exciting stuff. So we look forward to the Hollywoodbets Durban July. It's their first sponsorship of it, and lots of betting to look forward to. And you can go to www.Soccershop.Bet, have a look at the betting, and that goes for the week, of course, coming up, which is Daily News and Woolhavington Week. Thanks for joining us.
It's all up. It's all on the sides. Have a feast of betting.
And there's a few bet bundles thrown in there.
There's
as well.
bet bundles. There's going to be a host of boosters. It's going to be fun.
Lovely. There we go. Lance Michael talking to us here at Soccershop.Bet headquarters.